Hey everyone! So last week I had my Motability Assessment and I did post it on my TikTok and my Instagram, but I'm going to fill you in a little bit more in depth of what that entailed. So my Motability Assessment had several stages to it. The first stage was an eyesight test, as you would with any driving test. So I had my glasses and that went fine. So then we carried on to the interview stage. During the interview, they asked me about my driving history, what sort of mileage I used to do, experience with driving, and then details about why I haven't driven for nearly a year, 11 months, 10 months, something like that. Whether it was down to medication or the pain or what. My reasoning was medication. I needed to see how it would affect me with drowsiness and that, but I was actually fine, but it was more the pain, and I didn't want to be in pain driving, so that's why that all stopped. I could drive like to the garage and then I'd be in pain, so it wasn't ideal, so that's why I stopped driving. We then talked about different options we could have in the car in terms of adaptations, whether it was a moving of the pedals. So I'd have an automatic, so we'd move the accelerator and the brake to the left side rather than have it on the right. By that I mean I'd be able to use my left leg to use them rather than my right, as the pain is predominantly my right. However, I expressed that that's probably not the best idea, because the left can at points be in pain, and I'd be back at square one and not being able to drive if that was the case. We then went on to talk about hand controls, which is what I initially discussed with Mum and what we think is the best option. They agreed because of driving position and seating. I can position myself however I want with my legs, and I can just drive with my hands. It was actually really exciting because their vehicles had hand controls in them. One of their vehicles had hand controls, so that I was able to go out and have a practice. I didn't go onto any roads with other traffic because we're not here for that at this point. And we just kind of wanted to see how I managed and how I coped and with the transition, because it's very different driving with hand controls after driving for, I want to say 8 years. Yeah, 8 years this year, I think. Oh my gosh, it's actually the anniversary. It's just been the anniversary because I passed February 2nd. Exciting. I didn't even realise that. It's very different and quite a drastic change with normal manual car controls going to the hands. But I went for a test drive just around a business estate for 20 minutes, and it was pain-free. I mean, I was dosed up on my meds as I am day to day, but I was able to sit there comfortably in a position without pain and being able to drive, and they had no concerns over me learning to drive with hand controls. They were like, you're going to pick it up, you've already started picking it up, you're absolutely fine. So what the hand controls entail, once the car is all sorted, I will probably do a little show you around the car, but that could be quite a few weeks yet, as I'm still waiting to hear from the car dealership for the car's arrival. So you have your steering wheel. Obviously it's an automatic, so no clutch, and it's just the park, reverse, neutral, drive. I can't remember what I was going to say. Go then. It's not go, it's drive. And then you still have your accelerator and brake pedals, because if Mum was to drive me anywhere in the car, she could still use the pedals like normal, but it's just got the hand controls for my use. So you have your steering wheel. On your steering wheel there is a steering ball on the left hand side. That would what I'd be used to steering. Like if I was reversing around a corner or needing to do a sharp turn whilst accelerating or braking, that's what I'd use it for. And then on the right hand side, there is just below the indicator, there is a lever. I'd use that to go and to brake. It's a bit weird because naturally, from like riding go-karts as a child, you'd pull up on the handbrake or on the brake to stop. You have to push the lever to brake. I think that's to tie in with you push your foot down to brake when you're driving normally. You've got to push to brake and you've got to pull to accelerate. I have already gone to brake and accelerated by accident, but they said that's very normal and they would actually be worried if I hadn't done that. So that's the different controls. And on the top of this little lever, there is a little silver button, and that is your indicator. So you just flip it left or right, whichever way you're indicating, just so you can keep your hand there. So I would be driving like this, which is a bit weird, but it's really exciting and I just can't wait to get back driving. So the next stage is awaiting the car to arrive. So I'll hear from the dealership hopefully soon, saying that the car's here. The report will go from Cornwall Mobility to them. That will then go to the unique mobility or unique Motability to put in the adaptations. I may have to go in and sit in my driving position because once it's in, it cannot be changed, which works for me and Mum because we're the same height. So mirrors and things and driving positions very similar. And then once that's kind of in the process, I will go back with Cornwall Mobility and have a few driving lessons just so I'm completely safe when I eventually am driving on my own. Getting used to those new controls because it is very different. But I'm hoping they seem to think I won't need too many lessons, just like maybe 3, maybe 4, and I'll be ready to go. It was a really fun day. I was absolutely shattered after it because it was an early start for me anyway. It was an early start, and then being back in the car, it was a lot, but it's really exciting and I cannot wait to have my car. I'm so excited just to have that bit of independence back. And they were really great. They let us film all through the day, so Mum was my camera woman for the day. I mean, we had to really look to find out what this was. Like, there wasn't a lot about it, so finding it was a really nice thing to do because it meant I could go back to a slightly more independent life. And I think it's good to share that with everybody else who may be going through similar, maybe going through completely different, but their driving's affected. That actually, just because your health conditions and physical conditions may change, you don't have to lose everything about you and that independence. I'm a week into my 2,800 squats for Teenage Cancer Trust. It's getting slightly easier now. It is. I did the first day and then I had to break on the second day because I was in so much pain from just not using my muscles. But I made it up again, and if I do end up missing a day because I'm busy or just tired or on a bad day, then I can just make it up the following day or over the course of a couple of days. But it's going really well. Thank you to everyone who has sponsored me so far. I will put the link in the description again. Like I said, any little helps, and the Teenage Cancer Trust do such good work, like supplying my TYA nurses who really are there for not only me but for my family as well. That's kind of it for today's video. And yeah, hopefully next time I might have some more news with the car, and it's actually coming up to 12 months. So there's gonna be a few special videos with Mother Dearest. But make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok to find out a bit about them. So yeah, I will thank you for watching and see you next time.